Hello and welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute-a-day podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse, recorded here in the dining room of the Bible Bistro, located in Sharonville, Ohio. Hey there, friend. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio here in the Bible Bistro. Today we're looking at Psalm 101, verse 8. This is David's devotional confession. Really teaches us about some of the decisions that we need to make when it comes to our walk with the Lord. I think David's answering the question, how do I order my life to walk in the way of the Lord? So he begins talking about mercy and judgment. That's really been the theme throughout this entire thing. Judgment of his own life, judgment of his associates, who's he going to associate with, close associates, and judgment of those he is going to associate with. How does he exclude and include properly? It's always a decision that we have to make. And then today we come to his warfare. So David's going to put into practice all of this now. So the entire thing here really speaks to, I think verse 8 really is sort of the knot at the end of the rope. It's his application of all of those things. So we've seen the parallelism, so much parallelism here in the psalm itself. The entire psalm is, you could fold it in on itself. It's so chiastic, and there are many ways in which it parallels itself. The heart, the house, the eyes, all of those things are paralleled in this passage, in this 101st psalm. And now today we come to verse 8. Let me read that for you, and then I'll tell you why I think this is his warfare. He says, I will early destroy all the wicked of the land, that I may cut off all the wicked doers from the city of the Lord. So you'll notice that he begins with early. I will early destroy. So at the beginning of each day, I think what this talks about is not necessarily warfare on a physical level with swords and knives and arrows and spears and shields and all the rest. But I think he's talking about warfare on a spiritual level. So this is prayer, offering, and worship. This is what David's doing early to destroy, because you have to begin there. Remember, I will sing of mercy. That's where you begin. And every one of us needs mercy before we enter into all the different relationships and different things that we have to do, the different people we have to interact with during a day, the things that we see, the things that we hear, the things that we think about. We need an early interaction with God's mercy. Then we can handle the judgment. Then we can make the wise decisions. Then I can behave myself wisely in a perfect way if I early destroy the wicked. That is, I deal with my sin. It's not the people, really, that are the true enemies. It's the one inside that's the true enemy. And early destroying them means early prayer and devoting oneself to worship and study of the Word of God. That's the early battle every day. And it's a daily battle. You don't get a pass. There's not a day off. It's an everyday thing. You have to have that everyday early battle so that throughout the day your judgments would be right. He says, I will destroy all the wicked of the land, that I may cut off all the wicked doers from the city of the Lord. Now David is king here, and I'm sure he's thinking of Jerusalem, his city, or maybe this is early in his reign, and he's thinking of Hebron, where he reigned for 7 years. Whatever it might be, he's thinking about protecting those about him. But he has to begin with himself. And then he can help those that are about him. So the influence of the evildoers on his city has to be something that he excludes as well, so that others have the opportunity to do what David's doing here. To walk in the perfect way and to walk within his house. I will cause myself to walk within my house with a perfect heart. Well, how do you do that? You start early, every day, by seeking the Lord, and then you make decisions that not only affect your life, but are going to have an effect and rebound on the lives of those around you, especially your family. So you have to be careful. You have to be careful of what you allow and what you include and what you exclude. So the exclusion part is so important. We don't really want to talk about that because we don't want people to think that we don't like folks. Well, I like folks fine, but folks make decisions that I don't like, and those are the things that I must exclude so that not only myself but my household can be kept, can be protected from the influence of the wicked, from the froward heart taking root. We don't want that. So cutting off all the wicked doers from the city of the Lord is just David protecting his family and those in his care. That's all in the world it is. And you need to make decisions for your family and for those in your care as well. Sometimes those are hard decisions. Cutting off is never easy, but it's something that, according to mercy and by the Word of God and according to the Word of God, we are enabled to do it because we can see clearly and make wise choices. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this psalm, a devotional confession, a psalm of David. So next time, we'll be looking at Psalm 102. I hope you'll join me then here on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. For more fresh and delicious Bible studies, podcasts, books, and more, check out the Bible Bistro online and on YouTube. Join me again next time for Daily Dose Radio.